we speculate about Caponord's return at Aprilia. The technical basis is the current V4 Tuono and RS V4 models, the engines of which can carry the Caponord V4. There is no concrete indication of the Caponord V4 yet, but such a model would fit in well with the very powerful, expensive, and leggy crossovers from Europe on the one hand and in the robust travel enduro segment on the other. When it first appeared, the Caponord 1200 was still in the upper third of the range between the old BMW R1300Gs with 125 horsepower and the Ducati Multistrada 1200 with 150 horsepower. Today he will wield a red power lantern. However, as a Caponord V4 with around 170 horsepower, it's going to be a force on a big adventure bike, and we're definitely thinking about what such a model would look like. The new chassis with a tubular steel subframe combined with aluminum elements and a bolted steel rear frame allows for high payloads. The longer aluminum swing arm and a gull wing design could be redesigned for greater stability, and with center spring struts instead of the old Caponord V2 bolted in the center. Despite the slightly higher weight of the front fairing, the steering head will still be at around 65 degrees. Trail can increase from the Tuono's 99.7mm to a class typical 115 to 120mm by offsetting the fork bridge. The last Caponord with the 1200 V2 was of comparable construction, and its design honored the model's history. Also common in the class are different chassis and brake components, which can be distinguished by the Aprilia factory label. Base with conventional spring elements and Brembo M4 or M50 calipers, which are common with Italian brands. And the Caponord V4 factory with semi-active Öhlins suspension, Stylema saddle, and possibly lighter forged aluminum wheels. An interesting step taken by Aprilia is to offer a variant directly when the Caponord V4 is present. Street version, as a crossover with sporty tires with 17 inches wheels each with 120/70 at the front and 190/55 at the rear is the Caponord V4 Strada. So, apart from the Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak and the BMW S 1000XR, there will be a new crossover model with 17 inches tires and around 170 horsepower. In the class of tough, leggy road bikes, that's slightly above the BMW minimum with 165 horsepower. And alongside the Multistrada V4 with 170 horsepower and the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S with 160 horsepower will be the Enduro V4, where 170 horsepower is top class so far.